And it's time for the Kennett Indian Coaches Show as we visit with Kennett Indian head football coach Andrew Webster. And coach, coming off a tough game against Poplar Bluff, and you mentioned going into that game that you felt like turnovers and getting a few breaks here and there would be the key. Sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way, and your team fought hard all the way to the end, but just got down and never could really get over the hump in that ball game.
Yeah, it was weird for us. We're normally not like that. I mean, there was 4 plays on 4th down where we were like a yard short, and that's frustrating. But it's just, for whatever reason, Friday night Bluff was better than us. I think if we played them 10 times, it's pretty close, 50-50, 60-40, one way or another. But for whatever reason, that Friday they seemed to get the breaks, and they were a little bit better than us that night.
Just a little weird fact, but it seemed like with that strong wind blowing in one direction, when Poplar Bluff needed that wind at their back, they were going in the right direction on the field, and when you were having to go the other way in a hurry, seemed like that wind was blowing in your face.
Yeah, it really was. It played a big role in it. Because usually, like after halftime, you say, unless the wind is there, you say you want to kick from the clock, so you have the clock in your face in the 4th quarter or whatever. But after halftime, Bluff flipped that. They kicked toward the clock because of the wind, and then I don't know. We just we had 2 really good drives. One we ended up not scoring on right before half, and again, it was one of them. We're like a yard short on 4th down. We hit Will real close, yard short, and then before that, that's when we marched down and scored. So as a coach, you're frustrated because you just did it, and then why can't we do it again? They started cutting our O-line in there, and that played a little bit of a role in the second half. But, for the most part, it was – I don't know. It was just they kind of beat us up front. Tanner Pierce had to run a lot, and, that wasn't very good.
Yeah, anytime the quarterback has to scramble, get out of the pocket, throw on the run, it just really disrupts all the offense. And if he has to roll to one side, it kind of takes out the players on the other side of the field.
Yeah, it sure does. And a lot of times we roll, but it's not like that. We had a lot of pressure. They did some good stuff that we hadn't seen yet on film. And we talked to the coaches after the game, and Poplar Bluff, they said that – like early in the year, they played Park Hill Central close and lost, but then they had like people that night. They had like people fighting in the locker room and getting into coaches and stuff, and so they had to kick some players off the team early in the season. And they said they're just now getting back where they feel like they're rolling like they normally do, is what they said. And they thought that the game that they played us Friday was the best that they'd played, collectively all season. So kind of a crappy time for us, for them to get everything together, but they did. And I can't look back at the game and say we didn't try our best, because I think we did. I think we had people in the right place. We just didn't execute quite as well as we needed to, because we had like those 4th downs. You think they beat us by 3 scores, so if we there's 4 drives right there. If we complete those, maybe we go score, and it's a whole different ball game.
Well, and also credit to your team, and we mentioned it on the broadcast. One thing that will not happen is the Kennett players will not give up. It doesn't matter, but your team fought right down to the final buzzer. Yeah,
they really did. Even when it was time to, like at the very end when we had to punt it back to them, I was like, went out in the huddle, and it was 4th and long, and we told them, I said, guys, man, we just gotta. They're gonna deal it out. Like it, they were frustrated that we couldn't keep going. Because they. Not a lot of quitting, these boys. They're good. They're good boys.
Well, I know that the team and the coaches have had to shake it off this week and get set for a big matchup against number 1 seed in the district, Valle Catholic, and undefeated Valle Catholic, and it'd be a great way to really have senior night at Metz Cherry Stadium. We'll talk about Valle Catholic with Coach Andrew Webster when the Kennett Indian Coaches Show. Well, we're going to have our player segment next. We have 6 players coming up on our player segment. Then we'll be back to talk about Valle Catholic with Coach Andrew Webster right after this. And we are back with a very special player segment. We are going to visit with 6 players on the player segment. And Jarett Pullin, our first guest, senior, and Jarett coming down to the last regular season game at Metz Cherry Stadium. It's going to be senior night, very big night for you. I know we visited earlier, but you're at this point in the season, very important game coming up against a a very good Valle Catholic team. What's your thoughts going into that ball game?
Oh, I think we have a good game plan. We're doing everything we can do to get ready. I mean, I definitely don't think we're scared of them. We're going to give it all we got regardless. I mean, we've been playing all week, so we're not going to go down without a fight.
Well, Jarett, what do you think that the Indians need to do to come out with a victory in the ball game?
Well, I think we're definitely going to try to keep the ball in our possession. We're not trying to give them the ball at all. That's the key. But just play hard. Really. I mean, if we're going hard and we're giving it all we got, I mean, that's all we can ask for. So that's it.
Well, Jarett Pullin, our first player guest. Jarett, good luck, and we'll see you at the game tonight.
Thank you. We
are back with our second player guest, Caleb Duncan, a sophomore linebacker tight end. And Caleb, I know you suffered an injury, and it's kept you out playing defensively, but it hasn't slowed you down offensively. You're one of those players that it just takes a lot to keep you out of a football game.
Yeah, a lot of you know my brother. He's the love for game that he has is just off the scale, and I feel like I got some of that from him and my dad, and it's just really just a Duncan thing. I mean, just runs through the blood.
Well, your tight end position, I know you've been utilized quite a bit in the passing game. The part that most fans don't see is the blocking aspect of being a tight end. But on third down, we see it in the NFL, those tight ends that make such big catches for, team after team. You've been doing that for this team this season.
Yes, sir. I really enjoy making plays. I mean, that's just the highlight of the night for me. Not even touchdowns, just contributing to the team and to myself.
It's the team attitude. And give me your thoughts. What do you think that the Indians will have to do to pull off the big upset against Valle Catholic?
I think just like Jarett said, we need to keep the ball in our possession. Don't let them have it. Got to put some trust in our defense and just play hard.
Caleb Duncan, our second guest, as we visit with several players on the Kennett Indian football team. Caleb, good luck, and we'll see you tonight.
Sir, thank you.
Back with our next player guest right after this. Back with our third player guest, Garren Overbey, a senior and offensive defensive lineman. Garren, good to have you on the show today. And as a senior night, Metz Cherry Stadium and playing against a very good team, I know it has to be exciting for you.
Yes, sir. It's going to be exciting. It's one of our last home games, regular season game. It's going to be nice to be out there and against Valle Catholic, a pretty good team.
Well, Garren, you're going through the senior season. You've done a great job, and you guys have came together, especially on that offensive and defensive line. I know early in the season, Coach, you talked about trying to get everybody together after some of the seniors had left from last year's team. You guys have really came together and doing a great job this year.
Yes, sir. There's a lot. We had a bunch of seniors leave last year, and growing the line together, me, Jarett, and Kev on the right side of the line, it's been a struggle, but it's been fun. I think we made it work.
Well, Garren, talk about your plans after high school.
My plans after high school, I plan on attending Three Rivers College and probably go pre-engineering. I'd like to go in the steel industry and do that.
A very, very good future ahead of Garren Overbey. Garren, good luck. We'll see you at the football game. Go get them tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Perry.
All right. We'll be back with our next player guest right after this. Back with our next player guest, another senior, Kaiden Karalus, as our guest. And Kaiden, another offensive defensive lineman. We're getting to visit with several of you guys here today. And Kaiden, senior season, last regular season home game. Hopefully you'll have a district game here at Kennett, but I know you want to go out with a bang, and what better way to get a victory over Valle Catholic?
Yes, sir. That would be a great big thing to us, especially after this season, having a bunch of new O-linemen and everything. It would be a great win for us.
Well, on that offensive line, you go 215 pounds. You guys were filming this in the office outside the weight room. It all happens in this weight room off season. And tell us a little bit about that schedule of what you guys do trying to get to this point of the season.
Well, we come in very early in the summer, and we come in very early on the days, and we just don't stop grinding for the whole summer, especially when the season starts. We're still in the weight room during schools, and sometimes we even do it after practice.
Well, Kaiden, tell us what you think is going to be the keys to Kennett pulling off a victory.
Well, I think the keys to us pulling off the victory is definitely the O-line getting our blocks and us keeping maintaining control of the ball.
Tell us, you're another one of the seniors on this ball club, your plans after Kennett High School.
I plan on attending Texas Tech for a welding degree.
Very good. All right, going to Texas. And Kaiden, good luck. Go get them tonight, and we'll see you out at Metz Cherry Stadium.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We'll be back with our next player guest right after this. We are back with our next player guest, Blake Raspberry, another senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. And Blake, you've been a part of this football team now for a few years. You've been on some really good teams. You've had some big victories, but coming up against Valle Catholic, final home game, would there be a bigger victory, in your opinion, than getting one tonight against Valle Catholic?
No, there will not. You know, I'm finally getting to play against a team that's pretty good, and I want to go out and win this one.
Well, tell us about, what you think is going to be the keys to Kennett pulling out a victory against Valle Catholic.
I think the key is we don't need to play scared. We need to play and hit these guys in the mouth early and continue to do so throughout the whole game.
Well, I know you're a big part of that line, whether you're on the offensive or defensive line when Coach puts you in there. You've got good size, and you're going to be one of those critical players because I know across the line from you, Valle Catholic has some pretty good-sized guys. And you're saying you're going to go in there and just take it right to them.
Yes, sir. I plan to hit these guys with everything I have and use my body well.
Well, Blake, another one of the seniors, tell us what your plans are after Kennett High School.
Well, a lot is still undecided, but I do plan to go to college and get a degree in something. So.
All right. Blake Raspberry, another one of our player guests. Thank you, Blake. Great to have you. Let's go get a victory.
Thank you, Perry.
All right. We'll be back with our next player guest right after this. And we are back with Kennett Indian sophomore Kevin Thompson as we finish our player guest segment. And Kevin had a great season so far for the Kennett Indians. Valle Catholic tonight. Tell us what you think is going to be the key to knocking off the Warriors of Valle Catholic.
Going hard every play. Don't stop. Don't take a break off. Keep going on every play.
Well, you have had an amazing season, and I know we notice it up in the booth. I know the fans notice it. I know Coach Webster is proud of the progress that you have during the season. What's been the key to you developing as a sophomore that, get out there on that varsity team and get on and do what you've done? What's been the key to your success?
Wake up every morning, work out and grind, keep on going, and don't stop. No matter what everybody say, just keep on going. Just keep putting the work in.
Well, you're one of the big bodies up front, and I know with us recording this right outside the weight room, you spend some hours in this weight room, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That's where it really pays off in a game where it comes down to who wants it more and who has that inside of them. Well, as a sophomore, I want you to go out there tonight and have some fun and get these guys. Would this be the biggest win so far of your Kennett Indian career if you could get a victory?
Yes, sir. This is going to be a very good win if we get to win. They're a very hard-playing team. They play hard every single play, but we got to get better out there and play everything. Play hard every play like them.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today. Kevin Thompson, player guest, sophomore, so we've got a couple of more years we get to talk to Kevin, and he'll be out on the field tonight. That'll do it for a player segment. Coach Andrew Webster comes up as we wrap up the Kennett Indian Coaches Show right after this. We are back with Coach Andrew Webster on the Kennett Indian Coaches Show, and Coach, getting ready for senior night. Great to be playing at home, and I know you like good competition, and one of the best teams in the state will be coming in tonight. Valle Catholic, great tradition. I don't know how many state championships they've had, but many, and now they've moved up to Class 3, lucky you, as they are now in Class 3 District 1. But, hey, you want to go play the best because to get through the district, you got to run through everybody in the district tournament.
Yeah, that's right. And, and they are good, and they're real good. And, but so are we. Like, we're not – it's not like we're garbage, and they are they're really, really good. The whole district thing, I mean, them being on the schedule is because we scheduled them because we want to play good people. The fact that they're in our districts has a lot to do with different sizes and Donovan dropping to Class 2 because most likely had Doniphan stayed in 3, then Valle Catholic still would have been in District 2. So we still would have had all public schools still in our district, and sometimes it's like apples and oranges, but, you got to play it. So it is what it is. It's still high school football. So it's just, with the private school versus the public school with the apples and oranges things, but still fruit, still football. Let's suit up and play.
Last regular season game, and this does have some implications on where you or who you will play next week. Is it looks like Kennett is solidly either 3 or 4 in the district. Right now you're in the 3rd position, but St. Genevieve just a fraction of a point behind you there. So it could be that you end up on the same side of the bracket as these guys from Valle Catholic after your first round game. And sometimes it's a little advantage to play a team and have them 2 weeks later after you've seen them and kind of know what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, because you can see everything and test your strengths and weaknesses and go from there. Be nice if we didn't have to see them 2 times in 4 weeks because they're so good. But, I just want to play them. Like why not us? You know what I mean? Why not us? We got a bunch of kids that are going to play hard. They ain't going to quit. We have a good game plan. Coaches have worked tirelessly this week. I know Coach Tids put in countless hours trying to make sure defense is right and get everybody in the right situation. We got our kids in the best situation that we could put them in that we feel like, shows off their strengths and tries to hide the things we're weak at, and while still attacking the things that we think Valley's not as good at, and and trying to hold back some of the things they are good at. And so, I mean, why not us? I mean, let's have a good night, man. Senior night's a big deal. I got one of the seniors, he's kind of like my kid, and it'd be interesting to see how everything goes. And I'm excited for this thing.
Well, for the seniors on this team playing their last regular season home game at Metz Cherry, I know we want a big crowd out and support this team and all the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into the program. We talked a little bit in the player segment, just all the hours that the average fan doesn't realize, those summer practices and the hours in the weight room and everything these guys go through. And now it's coming down to the end of their senior season. And I know they'd like to have some rowdy Kennett fans behind them to support them in this game.
Yeah, they sure would. And I would too, because if you're just casually coming to watch football, you may not realize how much goes into it. Like if you look at this summer, no one could legally have had more football than what we did this summer. We went to as many contact camps as we could. We went to everywhere. We hosted lots of practices and, not to mention weight room and everything else. I mean, we've been grinding since the end of May. And, when it all kind of builds and builds and builds with football, it builds to the season, and then the season builds to the playoffs and senior night. And, it's what people have to realize about football is because there's only, it's not like you play multiple times a week and everything, and you practice way more than you play in games is special. Like these opportunities, these Friday nights for kids, for parents, for everything, man, it's special, and people should treat it as such. Like it's a special time for these seniors. It's a special time for these juniors and these moms and dads, and it's just it's so important. There's so football is a huge part of what we do, but there's so many other aspects that go into it that are equally, if not more important. Being on a team, and learning how to work together and building relationships with your players, coaches, the family atmosphere with it, doing something that you could be proud of. Like these kids, I hope that we've done that this year. I know we're not done by any means, but I hope that when these kids and these parents can look back on the seasons that we've had, sincerely, I hope that it's something they can feel proud about and, look back on fondly.
Spoken like all great coaches, and that's the one of the advantages of playing team sports. The kids learn so much: hard work, discipline, and the rewards that come with it, and even the struggles and how to support your teammates and things like that. Speaking of struggles, I know you've had some injuries and you've had to shuffle some people around, and we talked to you on a coach's show and players are questionable about coming in. I know Riley Spencer was kind of that way before last week's game, and he's out there fighting hard, and just like the other guys that's kind of been on that list. But it's sometimes it's hard to be 100%, but these guys are getting out there, even the ones that are banged up, and doing a great job. Brooks Niggett and Caleb Duncan doing a great job again, from their receiver positions, and Will Gaines doing what he does. So, you got the dangerous weapons and Daniel Boatman in the backfield, and you got one of the best quarterbacks in the area with Tanner Pierce. So you got the weapons, and I know you have to feel good, but how about the health of the team? Anybody that's going to be missing for sure on Friday night?
I don't know about anybody for sure, but Trey Wall's ankle has really been hurting us. I mean, if you look through the first 5 or 6 games, he was leading the whole area in tackles for loss. Like, Semo Ball's got something with like defensive points. I'm not exactly sure what that's all about, but he was up there at the very top to that or close to it. And, he's missed huge chunks of the last few weeks off and on. I'm hoping his ankle can come back, because when he's out there, he's a difference maker by a lot. And, when he's not out there, we feel it on defense. And hope he's good. We've had some other people. We finally had some little sickness run through, nothing COVID or nothing related, but, just some stomach issues with some people and things. So I'm hoping everybody gets to feeling better. I think everybody will be ready to go. I'm not sure if everybody will be 100%, but I mean, it's late October football season. I'm not sure if if any team's got everybody 100% right now.
I would say any player that plays quite a few snaps during the season, this point of the season, they're not feeling like they did in that first game.
Oh, heck no. They're probably in better shape, but they if they're not sore, something's probably wrong. So yeah, you're right.
Well, Coach, your keys to getting a victory over the Warriors of Valle Catholic tonight.
Well, I mean, they've got such a high-powered offense. We've got to try to limit their snaps, because if we run 60 snaps and they run 60 snaps, they're probably going to score more than us. That's just, I mean, if you look at it on paper, you look at everything, you look at what we've seen on film, that's what's happened. And so we look at it, we're going to try to limit their possessions, maybe play a slower game than we normally do. Because normally when we look at it, if we run the same amount of plays as the other team, we feel like we're going to win. Because I feel like we have better athletes and different things. Man, they got some good athletes. They're incredibly well coached. So we want to try to limit the number of plays they get and try to find turnovers anywhere we can, whether that's possession or, fumbles or interceptions, anything like that. We've got to limit the amount of times we get that those guys can run the ball or whatever they're doing. I think if we can do that, play good defense, and we just got to be – I want us to be so physical. Like, that's what I want. Like whether we win or lose the game, like we're going to do everything we can to win. We always do. That's a given. Like, the idea that we could say that we wouldn't do that's insane. But like when they leave to get back on their bus or whatever they got, the private school, who knows? They probably got some really nice bus.
I don't think they'll fly down here.
Yeah, they probably won't fly, but whatever vehicle they get in to go back to St. John, I hope they feel beat up. Like, that's what I hope. I hope they are like, whoo, I hope we don't have to play them in 2 weeks. That's how we just want to be overly physical, and like, let's see what happens. I mean, if you're the most physical team and you take care of the ball, you always got a chance to win a game. And so that's kind of our mindset this week. You heard it from some of them linemen. Let's be nasty up front. Try to hold on to the ball, get some from them. Let's see what happens. Who knows? Why not us?
That's it. And go get them tonight. Be a great victory on senior night. We hope everyone can come out. Our pregame show will start at 6:30 on the radio and all of our video streams, and then our kickoff at 7 o'clock. Coach, good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Coach Andrew Webster, our guest again this morning on the Kennett Indian Coaches Show.